Hello and welcome. I'm Kriti Mehta and you're watching the World Report on NewsX World. We'll start with a check of the top headlines this hour. Kremlin firmly rejects US claims, with a spokesman Dmitry Peskov stating that neither Russia nor China has carried out any secret nuclear tests. Peskov added that Beijing has categorically denied the accusations, insisting both nations remain committed to their obligations under international treaties. Google CEO Sundar Pichai, speaking at the ongoing AI summit, described the current era as a golden age of innovation. He stressed the need for international cooperation and unified regulations to tackle challenges like deepfake, accuracy issues, and ethical misuse while bridging digital divides. Turkey is deepening defense pact talks with nuclear-armed Pakistan sparked serious concerns in Israel over potential proliferation risks and the new Sunni nuclear axis in the region that risk altering Middle East deterrence and heightened tension with Israel. US and Iranian negotiators report good progress in Geneva on guiding principles for a nuclear deal, even as Iran conducted a Strait of Hormuz drills and the US maintained military pressure in the Gulf. Iran and France issued a major joint statement strengthening strategic ties in defense, critical minerals, advanced technology, and climate action following high-level talks between Prime Minister Modi and President Macron. Armed group Hezbollah rejected the Lebanese government's decision to grant the army at least 4 months to advance the second phase of a nationwide disarmament plan, saying it would not accept what it sees as a move serving Israel. Millions of files related to late sex offender Jeffrey Epstein suggest the existence of a global criminal enterprise that carried out acts meeting the legal threshold of crimes against humanity, according to a panel of independent experts appointed by the United Nations Human Rights Council. The Vatican will not participate in US President Donald Trump's Board of Peace initiative, Cardinal Pietro Parolin, the Vatican's top diplomatic official, said, while adding that efforts to handle crisis situations should be managed by the United Nations. Pope Leo I, US Pope and a critic of some of Trump's policies, was invited to join the board in January. All right, viewers, let's now start with the news on Iran. President Masoud Pezeshkian reaffirmed that the country is in no way seeking nuclear weapons and expressed hope that the international community, particularly the United States, would recognize this. The comments came as Tehran and Washington engaged in indirect talks in Geneva. Iran's Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei warned the US efforts to overthrow his government would fail, a sentiment echoed by US President Donald Trump, who suggested that regime change in Tehran might be beneficial. Meanwhile, Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi confirmed that both nations had reached an understanding on the main guiding principles during the second round of indirect talks, although he cautioned that a deal was not yet imminent. The two sides are set to schedule a third round of negotiations after exchanging documents. Retired Major General A.K. Savach is joining us in this discussion. He's a geostrategic expert. Thanks very much, General Savach. Two rounds have, of course, concluded, mediated by Oman. What is the likely outcome in your assessment?
You know, there is a hope because the two talks have taken place in Oman. And both sides, it looks as if both are working of reaching a consensus. See, as far as the US is concerned, along with Israel, the red lines are three. One is that Iran should not get a nuclear weapon, and Iran should not get involved in basically refinement of uranium, and that too weapon grade. The second red line is the US wants that the missiles which are there, their number should be reduced, as well as the range should be the one which the Iran can have it. And the third thing is the proxies like Hezbollah, Houthi rebel and Hamas, Iran should stop funding them. Now, as far as Iran is concerned, it is agreeing on the first demand, that is basically that Iran will not become a nuclear, Iran will not carry out any further refinement of uranium, and Iran is open for any inspection by IEA. But it is not very keen to basically agree on the second demand, which is that the missiles number should be curtailed and its range should be curtailed. Because why the range is to be curtailed, the Israel feel that in case its range is curtailed, then the Israel will not come into their fire line. So therefore, that is not acceptable to Iran. Iran says that it is out of question that they will agree on anything on missile. Missile is their self-protection. They will like to have whatever number of missiles they can have, and the range as well as the numbers they are not going to compromise. And same, they are not going to compromise on proxy. To me, it looks like that on proxy they may agree on certain things, especially on Hezbollah Houthi. They may agree that they may not totally fund them. There's some sort of agreement. The hope is that the both sides, whether from the Iran and whether it is from US, you are finding a conciliatory tone. Both are showing as if these talks are progressing in positive manner, and the chances of some sort of solution are there. Remember that in case if the talks fail and US attack on Iran, it's not going to be Venezuela. Iran is going to strike back, and Iran is going to strike back with might because it has about 2,500 to 3,000 missiles, and which they can hit up till Israel and all the parts of Middle East, especially the bases of US there. And there will be a collateral damage to all these countries, whether it is Saudi, UAE, Oman, Jordan, Bahrain. And majority of these countries have refused to give their airspace to US, especially a country like UAE, Saudi and Oman. So the question is, Iran will strike back and strike back hard, and there is a chances of that American ships, which is the aircraft carrier group, basically Abraham Lincoln along with its destroyer and frigates, can also become a target because there are a number of drones, there is a number of other arsenal including missiles are available with Iran. Though America is also now trying to bring the second aircraft carrier group from Caribbean, and that is USS Ford, but yet the Iran has this capability of striking back, and this US also knows. And what more Iran can do is that it can also block the Strait of Hormuz, where 20% of world oil goes. Now remember, if that happens, there will be a chaos and confusion. The rates of oil will go almost about $20 per barrel more. And it will strike, and it will also hit the economy of China, because China gets the maximum oil from Iran from Strait of Hormuz. So the situation is quite complex, quite flex, but it seemingly looks like that the third talk which will take place in Oman, it may get some positive result. If it does not get positive result, we are heading for a war which is going to have a catastrophic effect in the complete Middle East, because Iran is not going to take on very lightly. In case if they are attacked by US, Iran will strike back. Iran will strike back with might to Israel. Also, you can say all the bases of US in Middle East. So I suppose US also knows it. So to me, it looks like
General,
that
how do you see the fact that, even while these talks are being held, there's a constant sentiment and in fact statements coming in from Donald Trump that the preferred outcome is to have a regime change?
My point is there can be a regime collapse. There can't be a regime change. Remember that regime change can't take place until there are boots on ground. US is not prepared to put boots on ground in Iran. Why I'm saying it can be regime collapse in case if US attack Iran and the losses are very high, and Ayatollah Al Khamenei cannot survive, or he is forced to die. Who thereafter? It will be IRGC will take on, which will be much more fundamental than that. P. Jiskian may not, the present president may not able to sustain, but if he also comes, it is not a regime change, it is regime collapse, and he will come. So the point is, what US thinking that there will be a complete regime change and a government which will be pro-US will come. It cannot come until unless there are boots on ground, and the boots on ground US don't want, because there will be body bags which will be coming from Iran. Second, that till IRGC is with Ayatollah Khamenei, you can assure that nothing much is going to happen to Ayatollah Khamenei. Third thing, that Mossad and also the CIA agents which have infiltrated in Iran almost about 4 to 5 months back, they are not able to succeed completely. They have tried their best. They are the ones which were involved in raising these protests on the street, but the protests have died down now by and large. So therefore, thinking that there will be a regime change, I don't think it will happen until there are boots on ground. That US is unlikely. There may be a regime collapse, but that may not be in the interest of anyone, because a regime collapse will bring chaos and confusion in Iran, and anyone who comes thereafter may be more fundamentalist than the present regime of Ayatollah Al Khamenei.
All right, General, thanks very much for joining me here. Viewers, Iran's President Masoud Pezeshkian has also reaffirmed that the country is in no way seeking nuclear weapons and expressed hope that the international community, particularly the US, would recognize this. Let's hear that statement.
من مهم نی سیاست و فتوای مقام معظم رهبری از نظر اعتقادی مهمه. به هیچ وجه به دنبال سلاح هسته‌ای نیستیم. هر گونه بخوان راستی آزمایی بکنن ما آمادگی اینو داریم که این راستی آزمایی اتفاق بیفته.
And we now move on, viewers. Google has announced plans to build new subsea cables from India, expanding AI connectivity as part of its broader push in the country. These cables will connect India to Singapore, South Africa and Australia, helping to strengthen the region's digital infrastructure. Meanwhile, this announcement follows Google's $15 billion investment to develop its largest AI hub outside the US in Visakhapatnam in India. The new subsea routes will enhance network resilience between the US, India and multiple locations across the southern hemisphere, providing critical fiber optic links to global markets. However, this initiative will also position Visakhapatnam as a key international subsea gateway, boosting both economic security and AI capabilities in India. Sundar Pichai, Google CEO, highlighted India's unique position to become a global leader in AI. Meanwhile, NVIDIA has also revealed a new partnership with Indian cloud firms to supply AI processors for data centers, further driving the country's AI capabilities. Let's listen in to what Google CEO has said.
Last year, we announced a $15 billion AI hub in Vizag. This hub will house gigawatt-scale compute and a new international subsea cable gateway. When finished, it will bring jobs and the benefits of cutting-edge AI to people and businesses across India. Building on this, today we are announcing the India-America Connect initiative, which will deliver new subsea cable routes to increase AI connectivity between the US, India, and multiple locations.
And we now cut across to India AI Summit, where world leaders are arriving. Let's go across. All right, viewers, world leaders are pouring in for the India AI Impact Summit, which is, of course, expected to see about 50 heads of states, technocrats, and tech giants from around the world. Prime Minister Narendra Modi is receiving those world leaders as we kick into the India AI Summit, the first of its kind summit being held in the global south. In fact, India's AI Impact Summit is a significant diplomatic event that includes both bilateral meetings with the world leaders from various countries and several rounds of panel discussions. The summit aims to foster cooperation on AI and address global macroeconomic balances. Notable leaders from countries like Brazil, France, Spain, and others are expected to participate. Event is expected to attract over 2.5 lakh visitors as well, and will feature a CEO roundtable where senior executives from global technology and industry firms will be discussing investment, research collaboration, supply chains, and deployment of AI systems. Joining me now in this discussion is Gaurav Vats, who is a cybersecurity expert, and he joins us from New Delhi. Gaurav, thanks very much for joining me in this discussion. Firstly, this is really a very significant summit that India is initiating in the global south. What really is the significance of India hosting this summit, New Delhi being the epicenter where all these world leaders are coming in? How is, what kind of role do you envisage for India as the connector for all these AI advancements?
It's very, it's
I apologize for those audio issues. Please do go on. Alright, viewers, we're trying to fix that connection with my guest there. Gaurav Vats is there with us. But those are the visuals that we are broadcasting from Bharat Mandapam in New Delhi, all lit up to host the AI Impact Summit. Gaurav, please do go on with your response.
Yeah, so right now, when we consider AI as a main theme, so it is India's major role is not equally, it is basically India is also seen as the global leader. So the global countries like US, Australia, France, China, they also look out India as a major role in AI. Why? Because India is having abundance of data. When we talk about AI, AI is primarily related to the data which around the globe, India is the king. As you may have noticed, we had already launched UPI, which has been a major success. Countries like France has requested, and other countries too has requested India to launch this kind of technology with them. So India is having abundance of data with already in place, wherein we are the major icebreakers for AI to be launched successfully. So we are already on the competitive edge across the globe.
All right, sure.
Yeah.
What can really India gain, not just India, but the global south from this summit as far as the outcomes are concerned? We've already seen that announcement from Sundar Pichai about undersea cables that will be subsea cables that will be connecting countries from the global south.
See, it is primarily their requirement. Why? Because there are a lot of data. When we talk about AI, there has to be the data needs to be traversed from point A to point B, right? So when we talk about the data, there should be zero latency. So if you talk about the internet bandwidth kind of thing, then majority of the data that flow from point A to point B or any places to interconnected places. So it is majorly travels through the undersea cables, right? So these cables are thick fiber optic cables with which all these data transmission happens. Via satellite, the data transmission is always slow. So that's a major reason why we are looking at as an optimistic step towards AI, not only for India, for the entire globe. In fact, other countries will take much more benefit due to the presence of the majority of the data that we already have. When we compare ourselves to the major nations like US, Australia, so India is not lagging behind. In fact, they are dependent upon India because they require data with which AI can play its significance game. Yeah.
Lieutenant Colonel Himanshi Singh is also there with me in the discussion. Colonel Singh, thanks very much for joining us. Now, Kenya has also issued a statement that says India can source lithium from Kenya if required. How important is this? We really know the industrial use of lithium in chips and batteries. How crucial is this exchange going to be?
Good evening, Kriti. See, in today's time, anyone who controls the rare earth minerals control the entire world. And we know how China itself has created the monopoly in this field. So when you get off like this, I think that makes, first of all, diplomatically that we are having good relationship with the countries. Secondly, it is recognizing our power in the field of making chips. Otherwise, we see that China is actually controlling the world and the way things are moving. And we need to have our supply chains in when it comes to minerals, because everything, right from your telephone to your mobile phone to your laptop to your missiles, everything is controlled by the nanochips. So I think we need to understand the dynamics, and when countries from South Africa, they come forward, first of all, they are also showing they are keen to develop. So somewhere the multilateralism India is now proposing to the world comes into picture. Moreover, the military power and the technological might somewhere enforced in the world. Kriti.
All right, sure. All right, viewers. Okay, I would take another question from Mr. Watts, who continues to stay with us. Mr. Watts, really, we're talking about Kenya looking to foster relations with India. Emmanuel Macron has, of course, also met with Prime Minister Modi, and they've issued a joint statements. France is also now recognizing the importance of India, and it's not just France. Of course, we've seen the trade deal with the European Union that has been struck. But now India will be working with France closely to strengthen defense and other areas as far as cooperation is concerned. How much really can either country gain from this enhanced partnership and cooperation?
See, as I already told you, that it is India is not the only looking after these AI kind of partnerships. In fact, India is right now considered as a need of the time, need of the hour. Right, just because we have the majority of users, digital users, right, and all these countries in today's world, if we consider India, India is already on number 3 rank in terms of AI competitiveness, and the number 2 in case of scalability of the users. So when we consider all these other countries, whether it is Kenya or France, all these are dependent upon these technology, and whomsoever is dependent upon AI as in technology, India leads. And the main thing wherein India is basically India is surpassing all these countries is the kind of user base, right? India is already having a very strong geopolitical presence. So if we consider AI as an main field, so India is geopolitically very, very sensitive region to consider. So whether it is US or a country like China, they have to be dependent upon India, and they have, in the case, they have to be successful. So that's a major reason why all these countries are looking India as in their partner. Yeah.
All right, thanks very much, Mr. Watts. Finally, I would also want to come back to Lieutenant Colonel Rajat Singh, who continues to stay with us. What do you think, or what are your expectations of the likely outcome that you would like from this 5-day, in fact 6 days now, it's been extended by a day?
See, the response has been humongous. So I think what the amount of money which has poured away, 100 CEOs have participated, and the way things are moving, I think it will enhance the economic impact, jobs, industrial transformation, and I think we would also see beyond how AI can impact world. So the AI models, how they are, transparent by designs, and how they can be used and integrated in the defense system. See, national security and military AI is also important. So we have to understand that where the red lines can be drawn, what should be the lethal AI systems, and how we can modify them to have human oversight. So I think there are potential questions. It's not about the algorithm, it is about the power. And Global Summit will definitely address these powers. It's not about just coming and pouring the money. It is also about, the fundamental questions remain, that who will govern the intelligence and when the intelligence becomes autonomous. So AI is not neutral. See, the data which is being fed, it is actually kind of using it to process and give you the answers. So it reflects the value of who builds it. So first of all, it also shows the intention of people who are controlling the AI. So there are some questions which are very relevant, and I think people will have answers, because if democratic societies, they control AI, the standards will be something else. But when we are entering into the era of algorithm geopolitics, the answer remains very, very different. So I think the summit must go beyond the competition, and we must understand the AI concentration of power, where it is going to be, because it is still with handful of corporation and corporates. So the control must be, there to understand the risk. Secondly, military acceleration. So autonomous systems are being built, but somewhere the human judgment must be there. Then the economic disruptions. AI, if it is entering the labor market, we are seeing how many people are just laying off. So we have to understand how the employment can be generated for such people. Then ethical governance comes into it, because when we build machines which are intelligent than human, then who is going to regulate those machines? So the choices have to be made post this summit, that how and when we are going to answer the questions which I have just discussed.
All right, thanks very much. In fact, viewers, we're now joined by our correspondent Thomas Pottis, who's on the ground covering the summit live from Bharat Mandapam. Tom, talk to us about the leaders who are arriving there. All right, viewers, I'm told my colleague has not yet been patched with us, but those are the visuals from the Bharat Mandapam, where leaders from 15 nations are arriving and are being greeted by Prime Minister Narendra Modi. We'll shortly go across to my colleague who's there to get us more details on this, but the enormity and the scale of the summit is evident. The pictures are speaking for themselves, and several details are coming in. In fact, we've also just told you the statements that's coming in from the government of Kenya, which has welcomed India to source lithium from its country. Then Dr. Abdul Rahman Habib, the Center Director at the International Center for AI Research and Ethics, is also seeing the India AI 2026 Summit and the impact of it as an exceptional platform to engage with diverse perspectives and ideas from around the world. Alexis WAI Robo from Adverb Company was also one of the key exhibitions during the summit, which was of course drawn appreciation from the PMO of India. IT Secretary S. Krishnan is saying the exhibitors could display items. Also there, Brazilian President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva has already arrived. He is in attendance of this India AI Impact Summit. Let's also then tell you other details that are coming in. In fact, before we go on to that, let's also tell all of yours who are interested in attending the summit. It's been extended by a day till February 21 amid the massive public turnout that it has seen. Then of course, Union Minister Ashwini Vaishnav has been praising the AI innovations while addressing concerns at AI Impact Summit. In fact, Professor of Galgotia's University is also trying to clarify the Chinese robo-dog controversy that became a highlight from this event. those are also the latest. Seychelles Vice President Sebastian Pillay has arrived in India for Global AI Impact Summit once again. Mauritius Prime Minister Dr. Naveen Chandra Ramgoolam is also there in this summit. We've of course seen tech giants Sundar Pichai, of course, at the summit, who is in attendance along with Sam Altman, Qualcomm CEO, and other leaders from the tech industry who are going to be joining. In fact, they are joining the India AI Impact Summit, the first of a kind summit being held by a country in the global south. As of now, Prime Minister Modi is welcoming the global leaders at this AI Impact Summit in Delhi. It's powered by the strength of 1.4 billion people, and India stands at the forefront of the AI transformation. That's the statement that also was made by Narendra Modi, the Indian Prime Minister. The summit, let's remind you viewers, is themed at Sarvajan Hitai, Sarvajan Sukhai, welfare of all, happiness for all, and it's reflecting India's commitment to harnessing artificial intelligence for human-centric progress and inclusive development. India is hosting the summit at Bharat Mandapam, and Prime Minister Modi, of course, has extended warm greetings to captains of industry, innovators, policymakers, researchers, and tech enthusiasts from across the world for this summit. Tom is there with me, my colleague who's there on the ground. Tom, who are the leaders that are now arriving? And Prime Minister Modi, of course, we can see is greeting them personally, welcoming them all. But we've seen some more arrivals. Give us more details.
Well, thank you very much, Kriti. Well, yes, this welcome ceremony is wrapping up the opening 3 days, which have seen many sessions, of course, talking about AI. But now is the important part. These next 2 days will decide if there's really any action coming out of this summit this week. This welcome ceremony, of course, very much a show of India's ableness to attract some of the most powerful world leaders, and that will lead us into the next 2 days, which is also not just on the geopolitical front, seeing those top tech leaders coming here and speaking. Now, of course, we are expecting the likes of Antonio Guterres, who we've already seen enter and shake hands with the Indian Prime Minister. We're also set to see French President Emmanuel Macron. He's spent 3 days in India visiting Mumbai also. We're also expected to see Brazilian President Lula da Silva. He is set to lead his delegation into the weekend as well. That comes as well as nearly 20 other significant heads of state and delegations from 100 other countries. So these next 2 days will be crucially important to see if any of these promises about regulation, about safety going forward in the AI space, this new revolutionary technology, will indeed see ink on paper as governments are concerned. Now, the involvement of the United Nations here is interesting. It's seen as a kind of unifying body which brings legitimacy to this summit. We're going into the next couple of days. We're seeing the likes of Sam Altman. Bill Gates is supposed to be here. We're not really sure whether he is going to be here or not. His name still is on the program, but we're not sure if he's going to speak or not. And then we are seeing other tech leaders from NVIDIA, from the Google CEO will also come here and speak. So this welcome ceremony, just the start of what's to come over the next 2 days, when these world leaders will really roll up their sleeves to see how they can help and use this tool, artificial intelligence, to benefit the global population. And I said earlier, everything has been smiles and bright colors around here at the AI Summit. But of course, there is that shadow creeping underneath it of the worries and concerns that people have when it comes to this technology. There are many concerns about it. and it will be very interesting to see if these world leaders can really make those commitments, make those investments, things that are, of course, hard to do when other countries don't. But we'll see if those promises are made right here in New Delhi over the next couple of days.
Right, Thomas, thanks very much for joining us and for covering that entire event and bringing all those latest details for our international viewers. We will continue to bring you all the latest details that are coming in from the India AI Impact Summit 2026 that New Delhi is hosting at Bharat Mandapa. But do stay tuned to NewsX World as we continue to bring you all national and international news and updates as well.